Hello all. Today we have a very young and dynamic architect with us, architect Praveen from Praveen Architects.
Hi,
Welcome
Amit.
on the show, sir.
Yes, hi, Amit. And firstly, I would like to thank A&I Magazine for having me here today. Yeah, so I'm super excited about this discussion, and I have also given you a tour of this particular property where we are sitting. So I hope people like it, and let's see how these things go.
So people would also want to know you more, know you
Okay.
better, right? Want to know you in person,
All right.
right? So let's start from the beginning and from the basics as to
Sure.
so every kid when he's growing up has something in his mind that that he wants to become a doctor, a pilot, or something, right? So when you were growing up as a kid, right? So did you always want to become an architect, or was it something else, and then later architecture came into the picture?
Okay. So basically, Amit, to be very honest, I had no idea that something called architecture or architect as a profession exists in the first place when I was a kid. So for me, but yeah, of course, as a kid, I've always been inclined towards a lot of creative things. I've been sketching, painting, making models unknowingly, where I didn't know exactly what it is leading me to. And there were only very few things which always interested me as a kid. So it was either something creative like, arts and stuff. And then there was mechanics. So a lot of mechanical stuff, how things work and how things actually go about. And also these were two important things which always have been, intriguing me since I was a kid. So later, as and when I was growing and all, so I started pursuing these two things a little bit more seriously. And then when I actually wanted to, make a career choice, so initially the discussion was either I take robotics or I go for fine arts. Like they're like extreme ends, There's one
Right.
robotics which has got super complicated physics, math, something and all.
Yes.
Then there is fine arts,
Right.
which is like, okay, it's on a little bit more creative and easy flowing stuff. So then I got to know about architecture as a profession that is available and as a field that is available.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, I give you a little background of myself. And so I come from a carpenter family. So for me, things have always been so it's all about construction. It's always about building something. So I've seen my parents, my entire childhood has always been I'm seeing people making something. It's
Right.
always they're making some cupboards, some doors, some whatever it is. So they are doing some of the other things. So they're building. So that entire aspiration has always been, I like building things. So that is where, see that fine arts is of course very creative, but robotics is all about building again.
Right.
So then I got to know about architecture, and then I ended up on architecture, and that's how actually the whole architecture thing has happened.
So now, when you say that you come from a carpenter family, right? Now something which excites me here is, uh, so on a broader level, from the architecture point of view, or from a design point of view, it's very, getting the design ready and allocating the work to certain people to get the work done is one
Yes.
aspect of it.
Yes.
But knowing the work on the ground, does that help you in your day-to-day life?
Yes. So definitely the carpentry background which I have, okay, the carpentry background which I come from has always helped me in understanding things more intricately, I would say. So when I actually started pursuing architecture, so whether you are building a 100-story apartment, let's say, or you're building a small chair, or you're constructing a small cupboard, or you're doing something small or something big, it always boils down to details. And I think that is what I've learned from my childhood, and that is what I've learned from my background, that it's all about details. And so as and when I got into the field and when I started practicing, so even today my practice is all about details. So we design a lot of things. I am there, then my wife is my partner in office, and then my team is there. So we design a lot of things, and ultimately we believe that we need to detail it to the level where any layman can understand it. So whoever it is, if some carpenter is working with us, some stone layer is working with us, some POP guy is working with us, we should know the details. Only then we'll be able to explain them, and
Right.
they should know the details. Only then they will be able to get the job done. So designing is one part of it. Execution is the other part of it. I think you need to have a proper hold on both. Only then you can successfully do things whatever you want.
So if I have to put in layman terms, आपको कोई टोपी नहीं पहना सकता है.
Yeah, because we know stuff.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you just mentioned that you and your wife are working together.
Yes.
So how easy or how tough is it, partners in life being partners in business?
So see, I am blessed that way. So my wife is also an architect. So that's Monica Vishnurasu. So she is a partner in my firm, and the way things work with us is very simple. So okay, oh, I keep doing a lot of front end work, and she is doing a lot of back end work most of the times. So basically, she is the brains behind a lot of things. Let me just put it that way. So we have a clear boundaries. At the same time, she is the one who's correcting all of us in the office. So a lot of times we tend to go crazy about things, that is when she actually holds us back and she puts us in the right place or puts us into a right track, and that is where we are able to think clearly, okay, what is it that needs to be done in this particular situation or for this particular project or whatever it might be. So let's say she's the one who's administrating the entire office and everyone else is doing a lot of things, and of course she is very strong with her planning, and also she does a lot of planning for us. So that's how we have a different, we are having our own issues in our office. So I do certain things, she do certain things, and we are happy that way. And of course, so she helps us out basically. She, that it is a helping hand what we have, where she's really guiding us through things. I can say that is the only way to put it forward. That she is the one who's guiding us through the things.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, it's always good couples working together. I
Yeah.
always say, एक और एक दो नहीं होता, एक और एक 11 हो जाते हैं, when
Exactly.
they're couples working together.
True, absolutely true, in all sense.
So, you must have, done a lot of projects by now,
Yeah.
right? As we hear your name everywhere here and there in the city right now,
Got it.
right? But there should be some project that's very, very special to you. Probably the first project. So, if you want to, take us through, about something that that's very, very close to your heart, that you probably enjoy doing it and you still cherish about that.
See, Amit, to be very honest, see, for me, every project what we do is special. Okay. And if you really want me to pinpoint one, I'll not be able to do that, because for us, we are in a learning curve right now. Okay. So we are not a very old practice. We are just about 6 years into the practice now. So for us, every project is super exciting, super challenging, and everything is new for every project what we do. So today, we cherish every project equally, and we enjoy doing every kind of work. So we have been doing very small projects, like we have done a jewelry store recently, which is just a 300 square feet space. And
Wow.
today we are building a residential project, which is about 50,000 square feet
Oh, wow.
residence. And then we are doing a lot of F&B. So we started off with a very small cafe initially to understand. So that is where we actually started understanding F&B as a, a category basically.
Right.
And then we started doing a lot of F&B projects. Recently, we have done this place called Malibu, which is a little larger space, about 300-seater bar and a restaurant.
Right.
So I think challenges have been different. So every project is different. So we handle it differently, and it is a big, big learning curve. So I think today, even now, my practice is all about learning. So we as Praveen Architects, we are very clear. We are learning in every project. We do not want to get to a point where we say that, okay, we have learned enough and now this is what we're doing. So this is
Right.
our style. I think this is too early for us to frame something that's saying that, okay, this is what Praveen Architects do. We do everything and anything, and we try to put in our own style. And at the same time, we learn from every project, and we make sure we are able to cater to every project with utmost detail and precision possible.
So, as you mentioned that you've been doing jewelry stores, residence,
Yes.
cafes. So, any industry or any category that's your personal favorite that you enjoy doing the most?
See, we do all categories as I mentioned you, but I think my personal favorite category would always be F&B, because this particular category for us, see, when we are doing, let's say when I'm doing a residential project, okay, so I'm catering to a set of clients, okay, so who are going to be the everyday user of that property, right?
Right.
So I have to adhere to what they want.
Right.
Their requirements are very specific. Everything is very specific. So that is a little bit more controlled way of designing things.
Mhm.
But when it comes to F&B, it's super exciting, because client comes to us, ki boss, हमको एक space बनाना है. That's his brief. Done. He's done there. After that, क्या बनाना है, क्या vibe create करना है, and everything is our forte. So that is what gives us a lot of excitement, and we enjoy doing F&B. So that is, I would say, I always tell my clients, see, our serious work is residential project. Our recreational work is F&B. We enjoy doing F&B. Whenever we are designing an F&B, it's like a break from our everyday work, and we do something different for every F&B project what we handle.
Right. And I believe you have done one of the most famous, most famous cafes in Hyderabad.
Yes.
So, I'd like to speak about that a
So
bit.
basically, you're talking about Coffee Cup, which
Yes.
which is also the first cafe or F&B project what we have done. It came by fluke to us, to be very honest. So we were doing a residence for the owner of Coffee Cup, and then his name is Varun, by the way. So Varun was like, okay, I run a cafe. Till then, I didn't even know there's something called Coffee Cup.
Okay.
So he's like, I run a cafe. I'm like, great. So then he showed me a new space. Like, I want to design this space. And then that's how we ended up designing that particular. It was literally it was a bank when that space came to us. It was a bank.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was an SBI bank, 2 floors. So we took the space. There was a big, locker in that, the strong room
Right.
with all the concrete walls and all. So we didn't break that entire thing. We used it as a kitchen, and then we entirely redid the entire 2 floors. Today, nobody can tell that it was a bank before. When you have a look at the place, I think even today that feels super cozy. And if you really want to kind of have your own me time, I think that is the place to go.
So is using the existing space and not probably damaging it, and not probably somewhere keeping that originality in space, is that one of your styles of working? Because the cafe that we're sitting today
Yeah,
also has a similar
of course. So basically, Amit, we as a practice believe in something called sensitivity towards space, towards client, and towards environment. So these are three very important aspects. So for us in our practice, we tell that if it is not necessary, better don't do it. A lot of times things are done for the heck of doing it. That is not the right way. I'm like, see, when you're dealing with a space, when you're dealing with a client, when you're dealing with certain environment which you're creating,
Mhm.
I think if you are not sensible enough or you're not sensitive enough towards what you're doing, you'll not be able to do it. So we deal with each and every project with super sensitivity. For us, everything is personal. Let me just put it that way. So if I'm breaking a wall, why am I breaking a wall? If I'm constructing a wall, why am I constructing that wall? Why this thing is happening? So we question every damn thing what we're doing. Reason being, I mean, see, that is our job here as an architect. If you're not doing that, then I think what are we even doing? So
Right.
being super sensitive is always been our thing, and I think we are going to continue it in a big way. Whatever scale of the project we are doing,
Right.
I can assure you that we are going to be super sensible and super sensitive towards what we do.
Awesome. With internet penetrating, so how do you think? I mean, you've been here for 6, 7 years now in this space. How easy or how difficult it has become when you deal with the clients? So when I ask this, a lot of people must come with you, with some Pinterest designs and all. कि हमें ये बनाना है, ये, without understanding the functionality as to कि will that help them? So any such funny request that you have received, and it can be at times very difficult to convince the client that this will not help you. So how do you deal with such requests?
Interesting. So this is a very interesting topic to discuss actually. So I mean, basically, as you mentioned, today a lot of clients whoever come to us, they come with certain Pinterest pictures.
Right.
And they come with certain Instagram details. They have videos, things, material ke videos, आपके references of your spaces, everything. They come with prepared with a lot of data. So I mentioned you a little while ago that we are very sensitive towards our clients.
Right.
So I tell people that whatever your client is asking, it might sound really, really funny. It might sound really, really silly also. If you take it seriously, you will come up with a better project. I can assure you that.
Okay.
So whenever a client is coming to me or a client is coming to our office with set requirements, let's say I have clients जो literally आगे मेरे को बोल रहे कि boss, this thing on this wall, this thing on this wall, this thing on this wall, which is, I think, okay, that is also fine. I like, why, okay, see, as an architect, we get brief.
Yes.
So for us, every project, we initially try to frame a brief. So when you're
Right.
framing a brief, we would love to, actually, we encourage our clients that you please go through. Today, we have a lot of information available on YouTube, on Pinterest, on Instagram. We
True.
encourage them to go through it. Because that way, let's say, आपसे आप 1 घंटा बात कर रहा है client. But there, he is spending good enough time with their family, going through multiple designs, multiple projects, and that is where you actually can gauge what is their actual taste. A client's taste can be gauged through the kind of images they will give you or kind of links they will give you to refer. So if you actually put them together and you actually study it well, you
Right.
can actually literally pinpoint कि ये बंदे को ये चीज पसंद है.
Right.
It is that good if you do it correctly.
Right.
But if you think of it as a problem, ki boss is literally pestering me with all these images and all that. See, clients are clients. Ultimately, they are spending their money. They will
Right.
expect everything, and you cannot be rude to them saying that nahi aisa nahi hota ya waisa nahi hota. That's not the way of working.
Right.
You have to tell them or explain them their own liking firstly. Your job as an architect is to actually understand your client and explain them कि boss sir आपको ये पसंद है, आपको ये सूट होगा,
हाँ.
आपके जो आपने हमको रेफरेंसेस दिए उसमें से what we understand is this, and they will definitely understand. If you are putting it in the right way, they will understand. If you are being arrogant about it, no, they'll be like
Right.
boss मेरे को तो यही चाहिए, तब क्या करोगे आप?
Right.
Right? So that sensitivity is very important, and I have never had an issue with internet. I encourage people ki boss, go through it. There's so much information available for free.
Right.
Go through it, understand it. I tell my juniors, whoever is working in our office, ki boss, explore the damn thing, explore the entire internet. But when you are looking at an image, let's say there is a Pinterest image. When as an architect, if I'm looking at, and as a client, if it there, if client देखता है, boss ये अच्छा दिख रहा.
Yes.
That is their statement,
Right.
and we are not expecting anything else from them.
True.
Because that is not their field.
True.
उनको पसंद आया, अच्छा दिख रहा, done.
Done.
But
Yeah.
as an architect, as a designer, if you're looking at an image, you have to start breaking it down. क्यों अच्छा दिख रहा? उसमें क्या एलिमेंट्स है, क्या डिजाइन एलिमेंट्स है, क्या मटेरियल्स यूज हुए हैं, क्या डिटेलिंग हुई है, why is that thing looking good? So this is what I tell my juniors or our entire office, that so your job is to understand this, and client's job is to tell you that ये अच्छा दिख रहा है. That's it. You cannot expect anything more from your client.
पर सर कभी-कभी देखिए जैसे मतलब आप जिस काम में इन्वॉल्व हो, इट्स अ टाइम टेकिंग प्रोसेस.
Yeah,
आप
of course.
घर बना रहे हो या कैफे
Of
कुछ भी
course.
बना रहे हो, इट्स अ टाइम टेकिंग प्रोसेस.
Yes.
It takes could कभी-कभी साल, 1.5 साल, 2 साल भी लगता है,
Yeah.
right, when the project is used.
Yeah.
Now that is when again design being very very subjective, and design is something that as a human being our taste keeps evolving.
Of course.
So how do you deal with the scenario अगर 6 महीने पहले एक brief मिला है, there's certain design that you're working on, and after 6 months because the client has developed a new taste, and then that is when probably when he comes up and tells me nahi, probably we don't want it this way, and it comes up with new references. That point in time, how do you deal with it then?
See, basically, that will see. I cannot tell that never happens. It happens. It has happened with us also. Where there were points where we had to literally change the entire design. Let's say after 6 months or 1 year into the project,
Right.
because they wanted something new. But it minimizes a lot when you're very sensitive towards your client initially. If you understand the brief very correctly, if you understand the requirement very correctly, mostly it would not happen. But if it is happening also, you have to understand what is it that client wants.
Right.
With that minimal changes, if you're able to satisfy the client, why not? Just do it and just get over with it.
Awesome. So, sir, as an architect, how do you keep yourself updated with the latest trends, technologies, and all?
See, trends, technologies, they keep changing. Ultimately, see, right now, as I was mentioning we are in a very early stages of our practice. So for us right now, trends, technologies, that is all secondary. For us, right now, the most important goal in our office is to form proper processes. Proper process of designing, proper process of executing, proper process of sending things to the site, coordinating with the site. So we are in process of making all these things work first. Then, of course, there are trends, there are technologies. As a designer, you keep seeing things, and it's all about how much you actually browse, or how much you travel, or how much you are trying to be up to date. And sometimes we are glad, in some points we have even created trends. So we are very happy with that. But yeah, see, you can definitely follow trends. There's nothing wrong in it. Your client wants it, you have to do it. And every trend is a new detail, new way of designing which you learn. So why not? Just keep yourself updated with multiple, whatever source of media is available to you. Just update yourself and keep doing things.
And how's technology? So because you don't come from a tech background,
Okay.
right? So how easy or how difficult is it today to adapt technology? Because today AI and tech is become part of everyone's life.
Of course.
Right? If you don't adapt to it, it's very difficult to sustain. So how do you use
See,
technology?
for us, technologies, when you say AI, see, AI is right now very new into our office. So we are also trying to understand AI, how and what it can help us out. But otherwise, technology is basically tech and also, let's say, as simple as WhatsApp. Okay.
Yes.
Let's discuss WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one of the main applications. Trust me, people talk about multiple applications, but WhatsApp is the main application every designer is using right now. Every project runs on WhatsApp. So for us, WhatsApp has been very useful because, see, we create groups. Every project has multiple groups. Then each and every thing happening on the site is updated to us every single day. I think that is a great use of technology. That
Right.
way, now we are also looking at multiple. As I was telling you, we are forming processes.
Right.
So we are looking at multiple applications to actually get some processes right in office to track the projects, to see what is happening, how to go about things, how to go about the finances of the project. So that is still in the process. But ultimately, all said and done, technology and this entire AI and all is the secondary thing again. As a designer, if you are not sketching manually, if you are not designing manually, you will never be able to cope up with anything new. So for us, even today, we have all these softwares in the office, we have a lot of things going on in the office, but our design process is always on a drawing board. We sketch, It's all sketches. It's all on paper with pencil. That is what it is, and then it actually transfers into whatever technical stuff you want. Then we go to the CAD drawings, 3Ds, walkthroughs, whatever is happening is all secondary. But this is the prime and the most important.
Wow. So again, on a personal note, how is architect's life looks very fancy from
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, of course.
It's as good as a celebrity today, right?
That's true.
But how do you? I mean, so how's your day? And how do you? I mean, considering the number of projects that you're doing, right? How do you balance work life? I understand that you're recently blessed with a baby girl,
Yes.
right? So how's being a new father, and how are you coping up with things?
See, firstly, yes, we have been blessed with a baby girl now, and that's a totally new chapter in our life. So, me and Monica, we are in a learning phase right now. So, we are trying to understand parenthood, and we are slowly kind of coping up with things. We are trying to see how and what we can, how we can manage our work, how we can manage our personal life. Things are kind of in middle of everything right now. We're learning. So,
Right.
that is one part of it. Then, basically, architect's life. Okay, it looks very fancy, as you were mentioning. People like, okay, they're building so many things, so many designs, this, that, everything. So much is happening in their life. But trust me, dude, it is tiring. Mentally, physically is not that, but mentally it is tiring, because you cannot. Once you're an architect, once you say that you are into the field and you are on in practice, trust me, you are working 24/7. Your mind doesn't stop. Whenever I mean, literally wherever you're sitting, even now I'm sitting with you, I can tell you that there are some things which are going on in my mind. I had a call a little while ago that is going on in my mind right now.
Yes.
So it is like that. So you're working 24/7. So it might look very fancy, but it is a very difficult practice, and you need to be very careful with about every little thing. Every little detail is important. Everything costs certain money. People are
True.
putting their hard-earned money. People are putting their dreams into your hand. Boss, build something for us.
Right.
So you can, if you are to do something of that scale, I think you need to be available all the time. So if you're getting into this practice, just be prepared. It is 24/7 job. It is not the 5-day week or 7-day week. Nothing like that. It is a 24/7 job. Wherever you are, whichever place you are, trust me, you're thinking about your work, and that is what will happen.
A message loud and clear to all
Of
the
course.
young and aspiring
Of course,
architects.
please be prepared. Don't think that you're going to have that. Don't go by what fancy things you see on Instagram. What we
Right.
post is very little. What we actually do is a lot. So let's be very clear on that. So until and unless you're prepared for that, don't get into this.
So, I mean, when we're talking about a lot of projects that you have done, I'm sure that you must have worked with celebrities, politicians, and also laymen at the same time,
Yes,
right?
yes, boss.
So, I mean, how difficult or how easy it is, working with a normal household and compared to either a celebrity or a politician.
Okay, so I'll tell you how it works. Amit, see, basically today, for us, every client what we deal with is a celebrity. Let us put it that way, because that particular person or that particular family have come to us with a dream. So it's all about dreams. Okay, everybody dreams about some space, something what they want to build. So it is difficult at the same time easy with all the clients. But yeah, of course, when it comes to certain celebrities and politicians, we need to be a little bit extra careful. I would not lie, because because they have their own busy schedules.
Right.
So we need to be a little bit extra careful towards them. And yes, we have worked with multiple celebrities and multiple politicians, and we are right now also doing multiple houses for multiple politicians whom I'm not allowed to name right now. And celebrities, like one thing I can name you is we have done this cafe called Good Vibes, which was for Anand Devarkonda.
Wow.
So it's like that. So yes, but ultimately, bossy for us, it's a client.
Right.
Whether he's a politician, he's a celebrity, or he's a businessman, or whatever XYZ is their business, that is not our business. For us, it's the client. He or she is a client, and we have to cater to them. It's as simple as that.
So, by any chance, I mean, it is something which is out of the box and probably something that I understood having a conversation with you. So, does Praveen Architect have a tagline?
No,
I
as I
think
was
I
mentioning,
got
you,
one for you.
okay,
Sensitivity
yes,
towards nature, towards
of course,
clients, towards spaces. Because I believe, I mean, after conversing with you, one thing that I understand as your work ethics or things that revolve around is probably sensitive. Where I probably feel that you probably take care of everything.
of course.
It might be a non-living space to a living person.
Yes.
You deal with sensitivity,
Of
trying to
course.
understand the space, trying to understand the people, and then probably deliver.
Yes.
So we probably have a tagline for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is something, let's say sensible is the tagline.
It is because so a lot of times what I feel when you're working, right? So that is something that we probably forget, and we are more towards execution, not actually having that aspect into the picture.
See, I'll tell you, Amit, say when this particular field is very interesting. Okay, so one day I'm sitting with some big shot designing something for them. The same day, on my next site visit, I am dealing with, let's say, a stone layer who's technically a layman.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see the contrast
Yes.
of things
Yes.
what I'm dealing with. So if I'm not sensible, how can I actually handle this? Ultimately, see, for me, the layman is sometimes more important than the client whom I was sitting with, because this guy is going to do or make what I am imagining.
Right.
So he is my go-to person. Client is okay, he's there. I understand he's big shot, whatever it might be. He's a great person, but he's more important. He is the person whom I would put my thought more with. I will sit, discuss with him. Today, even today, I can tell you, Amit, so today, I mean, you can literally walk onto any of our sites. You can talk to any of our contractor or a labor or whoever it might be. They will tell you only one thing, that yes, we can approach sir anytime.
Wow.
Because see, boss, if they are not approaching me, if I am not talking to them, how the hell will we make that particular? We have designed something beautiful. Let's say we have designed something crazy and with stone, with wood, with lights. So let's discuss with about one panel. Okay, today we are designing. It has got stone, it has got leather, it has got lights, it has got certain veneers. So everything is happening in one wall. There, carpenter, stone layer, your upholstery guy, your lighting supplier, your electrician, everybody's involved in
Right.
one wall.
Right.
If I don't coordinate them correctly, if I don't explain each and every one what they have to do correctly, what the hell will they make? And what will I deliver to the client? So if I don't be sensitive, all this is gone for a toss. If
Right.
I'm one of those people, by Aya side by I'm a very arrogant guy, I'm just standing there and nobody's approaching me, talk to my juniors. Doesn't work that way. Firstly, the
Right.
whole concept of juniors is wrong. I would say that, when I am associating with somebody in my office, if that person is walking with me on site, he is as important as I am. She is as important as I am, because they are also designing the space. They are
Right.
detailing the space, and they also have to be treated equally. The entire labor, they are going to talk to them, they are going to talk to me equally. There is no differentiation at all, because that is how you deal with this site. That so ultimately, I was saying, you were mentioning it's a fancy looking field. Trust me, it's not. It looks very fancy on outside, but at the bottom of it, it is a job which deals with all kind of people, all
Right.
kind of requirements, all kind of spaces. So you have to be super sensitive and you have to be super clear on what you're doing.
I mean, your life, I mean, in a day probably can be, at one point in time you are having a coffee with a probably IAS officer
Yeah.
or an MBA or someone. At the second moment, you're probably talking to a Mestri as to,
Yeah, of course.
how do you have to execute this?
No. Sometimes at the same time also, this is client standing over here. Here is the masonry. So he is saying something. I am translating it to this guy at the same time, and at every turn of my head, I have to change my character. I'm talking to a person, then I'm talking to another person. But see, that is what it is, and that's what we do.
And probably that is why you're here, and that's why, I mean, you have had this, long career, successful career, and, way
So
ahead,
see, I
obviously.
would say not a long career, but yes, we are looking forward to a lot. We are very new to this entire thing, and for us, it's all about getting things right. From very initial stages when I was with Harish Lakhani, who was my mentor and the only person whom with I've worked outside. So I learned a lot from him, and that's been helping us even today. And we are also developing our own way of doing things. So yeah, I think we have still a lot to learn and a long way to go.
Definitely, I mean, it never stops. Learning
Yeah, of
is an
course.
ongoing process.
Yes.
So, one final question for you. So, what's your take on the ANA magazine and how instrumental it has been for you?
See, A&I as an initiative is great, I would tell you. Because see, ultimately, I think they should be a magazine or they should be a platform where we are celebrating our local people. I always believe this, yeah. So when you're sitting, say, let's say I'm here in Hyderabad today, there are 100, 200 designers in Hyderabad, architects in Hyderabad.
Right.
If I am not sensitive towards my own fraternity, and if I'm not able to have a good connect with, if I'm not even promoting my own fraternity, then how things will go forward?
Right.
You know, and I definitely need a platform. See, it's never a one-man show. It's as a fraternity. If you grow, things will be even more beautiful for
True.
for the city and for individual also.
True.
So that is very, and that is what ANI is doing right now. They are getting people together. They are celebrating local. That is something I really appreciate. And yeah, I really hope that this turns into something even